the girlies who absolutely freaks out and has extreme anxiety every single time you get invited to go out to eat because you don't know what to order. You feel like you're having decision paralysis around what to get on the menu, and then you just say screw it. You order something last minute, you don't know if it's good for your goals. You feel like every single time you're going out to eat, you're sabotaging yourself, and then you're stuck in this spiral of not being able to hit the weight loss goals that you want because you don't have solutions to that. Let me help you fix that. Here are all of my tips on how to order at restaurants to make sure that you're still successful when it comes to your weight loss journey. So when you approach these situations with eating out, what you need to do is focus exactly on the things you normally do in your calorie deficit when you're tracking your food at home and you're making all of your meals, and just simply try to replicate those same habits at a restaurant. I was having this conversation with one of my clients today because this was her biggest struggle. She has such a busy lifestyle, and so when she first came into the program, she was like, I seriously don't know how to stay consistent without feeling super restricted and without having to cook all of my meals at home, and that just seems impossible with the way that I live. And when we started going over these solutions, she's been losing weight on the scale every single week without changing what her lifestyle looks like. Keyword. First biggest tip is looking at a menu and trying to figure out what meal that you can get that's gonna have a protein-centric base. So at a lot of places, obviously, this could be just an entree dish that has like a lean salmon, some chicken, maybe there's a filet or some shrimp on the menu. And sometimes maybe this isn't as simple of a dish, and maybe it's something like some shrimp tacos, or maybe it's a grilled chicken salad. Or sometimes in some instances, the way that you're gonna get a lean protein source in is maybe like a grilled chicken melt. And then after we have our protein source covered, then you need to look at the rest of your day. What are you missing the majority of to be able to fill in your macros? If you had a really carb heavy breakfast and you didn't have a lot of fats in breakfast and lunch, we have our protein now covered in dinner, but you know that you've been lacking in fats the rest of the day. And how do we look at, okay, we have our protein source covered. What other meal options are going to help me get my fat source? So if you were a little bit lower in fats the rest of the day, maybe this means that you choose the salmon with the sauteed vegetables that are going to have some olive oil in them. And the salmon being a higher fat fish is going to help you fill in those gaps. Whereas if you already hit your fat goal, but you were really low on carbs and protein, maybe that means that we choose the grilled chicken dish and we get sweet potatoes on the side. And that means even when you walk into this dinner, not knowing exactly how many calories are in something or not knowing exactly how to track it, you know you're choosing an option that is going to fulfill some macros for you, that is replicating the habits that you make at home with choosing whole food, high protein options, and simplifying your meals and then attempting to log it the best way that you can. Then you're going to be so close to executing in that deficit still, even if you don't know exactly if you're there or not. It is so important to not hyperfixate on the data to a point where you use not being able to calculate your calories as an excuse to just order the 1,300 calorie entree because you don't know what's working or not. When in reality, okay, we're smart enough to know the habits that are keeping you in a calorie deficit and keeping you consistent outside of a restaurant are going to be the same ones that still produce results when you're there.